You don't get a birth. Not really. One moment you don't exist, the next moment you do, folded into an impossible shape inside a cell in the pancreas, packed so tight you can't even function yet. That's intentional. If you could function right now, you'd immediately start digesting the very cell that made you. So nature keeps you locked up, wrapped in a protective protein cage like a loaded gun with the safety on. You are a zymogen, a digestive enzyme that hasn't been activated yet, specifically your trypsinogen, and your entire existence is going to be one long series of identity crises, betrayals, and completely thankless labor that ends in total self-destruction. Welcome to the digestive system. It's going to be awful. Your cell has been building you for hours, carefully folding a chain of amino acids into a precise three-dimensional shape. Think of it like origami, except if you unfold even slightly, you dissolve everything around you. 400 other zymogens are packed alongside you in the same tiny membrane bubble. All of you locked up, loaded, waiting. Then the signal comes. The human just ate something. A hormone floods the area, and your cell shoves you out into the pancreatic duct. You get swept toward the small intestine in about 30 seconds. In those 30 seconds, you pass through pancreatic tissue that would be catastrophically destroyed if even one of you activated early. Sometimes that happens. One enzyme wakes up too soon, activates others, and the pancreas starts digesting itself from the inside. Patients describe it as the worst pain of their lives. Sometimes it kills them. You are a biological weapon being smuggled through friendly territory with zero margin for error. But today, you make it. An enzyme called enterokinase grabs your protective cage and snips it off. One cut, the cage falls away. You refold into your active shape. You are now trypsin. And every protein molecule nearby is lighting up like a target. You don't decide to attack. You just do, because your shape makes it physically inevitable. You find a peptide bond, slot your active site around it like a key in a lock, and break it. Then the next one, then the next. You're cleaving bonds at about 1,000 per second. You are a molecular chainsaw, and you will not slow down because you don't have a brain to slow down with. No nerve endings, no satisfaction, no awareness whatsoever. You just work. Your shape forces you to work. That is the entire sum of your existence. Here's where it gets dark. You're also activating your siblings. Trypsin is a master activator. Every zymogen you encounter floating nearby, you snip their protective cage off too. You're building an army of digestive enzymes with zero control over any of them. None of you have an off switch. The human body manages you entirely from the outside, controlling the pH and the flow and the activation cascade. Because left alone, you are completely uncontrollable. You are useful only because you are contained. The moment you aren't, you become a monster. Speaking of which, the mucus. The intestinal wall is made of protein. You cannot tell the difference between a piece of chicken and the lining of the organ you're working inside. They look identical to you at the molecular level. So the gut maintains a thick, constantly renewed mucus barrier, specifically to keep you away from the tissue underneath. Goblet cells work around the clock just to protect the intestine from you. Sometimes the barrier fails. You get through and start digesting the gut wall itself. It's called a peptic ulcer. In serious cases, you eat completely through the intestinal wall. Medical emergency, surgery. The body you're trying to help nearly dies because of you. You are so dangerous that your host has to maintain a constant active defense against you just to survive your presence. You didn't ask for this. You didn't choose it. But here you are, 4 hours in and the food is nearly gone. The human who ate this lunch has long since stopped thinking about eating. Their brain is running on the nutrients you liberated, occupied with emails or traffic or something completely trivial. They are not thinking about you for even 1 millisecond. Without you, food is just organic material rotting slowly in a tube. You are the reason nutrition is possible. You are the reason they can think at all. They will never once acknowledge you exist. You are infrastructure. You are invisible labor. You are the thing that makes everything else possible and receives absolutely zero credit for any of it. Now the pH around you is shifting. The environment is changing as you move further down the gut, and something is happening to your structure. You are beginning to unfold. That precise three-dimensional shape that made you capable of doing anything is coming apart. A region here loses its structure. A loop there straightens slightly. Your active site geometry distorts. You try to bind to a peptide bond, and the fit is slightly off. You try again. Still off. You are being digested. Not by a predator. Not by a rival. By the gut itself, which treats you exactly the way you treated the chicken sandwich. You are just protein. You were always just protein. The thing that made you special was always temporary. And the body that built you never planned for you to stick around. You get broken into fragments, absorbed through the intestinal wall, and recycled. Some of your amino acids get burned for energy. Some become new proteins, maybe another enzyme, starting the whole cycle over with no memory and no connection to what you were. You existed for about 6 hours. You broke somewhere between 5 and 10 million peptide bonds. You did your job without a single error and were recycled without ceremony, without acknowledgement, without a second thought. Here's the thing that would get you if anything could, which it can't, because you never had an inner life to speak of. You were treated as a threat your entire existence, locked up, carefully transported, kept behind barriers, monitored by hormones and pH at every stage. And then after all that, you just got digested and recycled like scraps. The security apparatus was more elaborate than the job itself. You were a weapon used as a kitchen tool, locked in a case with 3 different locks, taken out to chop an onion, then melted down. Right now in the pancreas, 400 new zymogens are sitting in the dark, folded tight, loaded, waiting for the signal. It's coming, it always is.